Hello everyone, welcome back to The Budget Sportsman. Today I want to talk to you about a couple of different ways that I think you can preserve your hunting memories. Of course, we're into the winter months now, and you're not going to be spending as much time out in the woods most likely, and so this is a great time to do some projects that will help you preserve the memories. Now the first couple of things that we're going to talk about are things that you probably are already doing and that I've been doing for quite a while, but the last one is an idea that I just recently started that I'm really excited about. And kind of what prompted this idea as well as this video is the fact that recently I've been thinking about some of the hunts from the past and realizing that there were hunts that I couldn't remember, maybe a doe that I shot, when it happened, or what were the circumstances around it. I could kind of remember, and I started to realize that eventually I was going to start forgetting hunts, and I never wanted to forget any harvests that I had. So let's start with the one that probably a lot of you are already doing. I've talked about on this channel a lot, and that is just mounting your antlers. If you're getting a buck, mounting your antlers up on a plaque like this is a great way to preserve the memory. This is one of the first bucks I ever shot, actually the first buck I ever shot, and it's called the father and son buck. Would love to tell you that story sometime, but my dad actually shot it first, and then it came running by me. It wasn't quite finished yet, and so we actually both had an opportunity to shoot this buck. That was in gun season, and I remember at that time somebody telling me this might be the nicest buck you ever shoot. Sure, a nice 8-point. This was back in 2003. So as you can see, there's a little label at the bottom here that tells me what the date was and everything. So this is just a great way to preserve the memory. I've showed you this one before on this channel too, I'm sure, but this was the first archery buck I ever shot. Again, have the little date plaque on the bottom. This one actually has a picture frame built right into it. It's not nearly as big, but a little 8-point. But super proud of this. This was my first ever archery buck, and so I got it made into the shape of a broadhead here. Just a great way to preserve your memories. If you're interested in doing this and you're not already doing it, I've got a lot of tutorials and stuff on my channel about how to make these plaques and how to mount them to the plaque. This is a great way to preserve a memory if you're not wanting to spend a lot of money on taxidermy, but you still want to display those antlers that you're so proud of and should be proud of. You know, for me though, the problem has never been remembering the buck hunts. You have something physical and tangible to hold on to. This is my buck from this year, and I don't have it mounted up yet, but I'm hoping to get this mounted up over the winter months here. But you have this to hold on to. You have it to display on the wall. And it's not something that's as easy to forget to me. What I've always had a problem with is trying to remember the doe hunts. A doe hunt that happened 6 years ago. And I remember, I'm pretty sure I shot one with a bow that year, but I can't quite remember the date or which year was it. And so I really want to remember every harvest as a successful hunt, as meat in the freezer. So one of my suggestions to you is just simply take your cell phone and take a picture and try to get a good picture. If you have a friend who can take a picture of you with that deer, where it was, well, it'll help you remember where it was. You know, a lot of times in my mind, I thought, well, it's just a doe. It's not a big deal. I'm in a hurry to get it processed. I don't have time for a picture. But now I'm regretting that. Most of my deer I have pictures of, but there are some that I don't. And so let me just say, make it a priority. Just get out your cell phone, take a picture. If you got nobody with you, prop it up against a tree, put it on the 10-second timer, and go sit with your deer. Now, the next way that I want to talk to you about that I'm really, really excited about for myself is to make a hunting journal. For me, I'm doing mine on the computer. You could use just a notebook and write down the memories of your hunts. Right now, my hunting journal that I've started working on is pretty much only the successful hunts or the ones that really stand out in my mind. Maybe an unsuccessful hunt where I maybe missed a deer or something like that, but the main hunts. But you could use this journal to write down all kind of information, even hunts that I maybe just had a learning experience. So let's hop over to the computer and I'll show you my hunting journal and what I've got so far and why I really like it. All right, so here we go. We got the hunting journal of the Budget Sportsman. And I'm doing this journal in the program called Pages. And if you've got a Mac, Apple computer, this is software that's available to you. I've been told that you can do the same thing in Word, perhaps even Google Docs or whatever. The thing that I like about Pages is when I opened it up, I used the book template. And what that did is when you go down to the next page, it actually does automatically, if you put the right setting into the text to tell it that it's a chapter heading, it will automatically put it into your table of contents. And so here I've got chapter headings, and then I've got subtitles for different sections. So basically what I've done is I've just put it in here by year, and obviously there's some missing years in my early hunting career where there was not a lot to talk about. There's also some college experiences in there when I was away and not hunting. And then you'll see as we go down, there's some more frequent hunting seasons here throughout the last couple of years that I had stories to tell. But the really neat thing is you can click right here and you can go exactly to particular story. So right here, the first archery buck, I can just click on it, and I come down here and I've got the whole story written out. I've got the date at the top, I've got the story written out, and then you can also insert pictures. And so here's a picture of my first archery buck. And that's the way it is through all of this entire, basically it's a book is really what it is. Let's go back to the table of contents up at the top here. And let's look at just this past season. You've seen all these videos already, but in the 2019 hunting season, I give a little recap up here at the top and mention that some things went wrong. And now that I'm doing YouTube, anything that has a YouTube video, I've actually put the link to it right from this book. So if I was to ever pass this book on to a friend or maybe my kids in the future, they can actually go back and watch these videos. So right here, I've got the story of the toughest buck I've ever seen. That's the antlers I just showed you. You guys haven't seen that video, go check it out. And then again, I've got a picture right here to help commemorate the hunt. My doe from this year in archery season, the whole story, the date, and then the picture. Again, the last year of this year was the revolver deer. I've got a picture there with it as well as the whole story. And then I've also got in here a couple more pictures. And then finally a little collage of the year. One more thing I'll show you here is I'll show you a buck that I shot. This was before YouTube, but father and son double up on bucks here. This is kind of a neat one. I've got trail camera pictures that I've got in here of those bucks. I've got a picture of my dad with his buck that day, a picture of both of us with our bucks, a picture of me with the buck. So just a really, really neat story from that day. Not going to take time to tell you the whole story, but to me, this is just a fantastic way to remember my hunts. So anyways, I'm super excited about this new hunting journal I'm doing, and I'm really happy to be preserving these hunting memories. And you don't have to do it my way. You can do it however you want. You don't have to write a story about every deer. Maybe you want to write a story about your season and just put a picture of every deer at the end. Whatever you want to do. But I would just encourage you to preserve those hunting memories for yourself and for the future. Anyways, I hope this video gave you some ideas of how to preserve your hunting memories. And if you've got an idea of how you do it that I haven't mentioned, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear how you do it. And until next time, remember to get off YouTube and get outdoors into God's great creation.